Welcome back to another video. It's NuttyNu here. We're working on the TACOMA 3RZ. It's not broken, it's just getting modified. Today I'm doing the rear differential. We're gonna be welding the diff. So I have it on 6-ton jack stand, and last night I went ahead and PB blast all the stuff that I needed to be taken off. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the oil, the gear oil, take off the dry line, tie it up, and then after that we'll start removing the axle. We'll go ahead and remove the brakes, the ABS, the 4 bolts, and then we'll be able to push out the axle, and then we'll take off the differential. And then I'm not gonna do the welding. I'm gonna take it to somebody, and he's gonna do the welding for me. He did it on the red TACOMA, black TACOMA, so should be fun stuff. I'm just hoping that we don't run into any issue. I'm hoping that the differential isn't messed up or anything like that, and I'm also hoping that the bearings are still good. The axle bearings are good. I will go ahead and replace the axle seals, and I'll show you guys that in a bit once we get to it. But come along, enjoy the show. I'm not going to show you guys everything because this isn't a how-to video. This is just a video for you guys to follow along and enjoy the build. 24 mil, remove the fill bolt. Always remove the fill bolt first. It's good practice. You do have to release the e-brakes, so release the e-brakes. Drain bolts are always tricky because you don't want to strip it. You got to make sure it doesn't. There we go. It's off. So while I'm taking off the dry line and while I'm taking off everything else, we're just gonna let this one. We're just gonna let it drain out. We're just gonna let it drain and do its thing. Woo! Look at that, nice and dirty. This vehicle, like I said, when I bought it, didn't get much maintenance, so it is what it is. So we're just gonna let it drain out, and then we'll get that later. This one here, I'm just gonna slightly put it back in here like that so we don't lose it. Looks like it does need a new crush washer. So next thing I'm gonna do is remove the dry line, and after the dry line I'll come back and tackle the all the stuff right here. It's gonna spin the wheels so the gears are spinning, so that helps it get out. Oh, it's actually better when you release this open. So gear oil, it looks like there's plenty of gear oil, but it's just dirty. We'll go ahead and put new gear oil, and we're also gonna bleed the brakes once we're done. This is the brake line right here. I'm gonna buy a new one because this one is not long enough for the lift, because if this truck was at full flex, this would be too short. So I might go buy another one and extend this one here for sure. I'll have to check the local parts stores. These are the dry line bolts. You got 4 of them, 14 mils. You need 2 14 mil wrench. Let's go ahead and take these off. So these are your dry line nuts and bolts, and if you ever lose these, keep in mind that you can't just use any regular nuts and bolts from the hardware store. They have to be at least grade 8 or stronger, because I've seen these guys snap before, where people used cheap bolts from the hardware store. My buddy snapped it right after we did an off-road trip. But whenever I'm parting out vehicles, I'm always saving these bolts and nuts right here because they're special ones, they're strong ones, and that's the reason why, because they're not your standard bolts. Oh, it's freaking hard. I did put PB blaster on this stuff. There we go. Go ahead and take these guys off, and then I have a bungee cord here ready. Once I have it off, I'm gonna tie this up here because we don't want to remove this dry line out. Here's the dry line removed. Go ahead and bungee cord it up. U-joint looks good. No play or nothing like that. We'll go ahead and grease this up before we go back and install it. Next thing we're gonna go is remove the brake lines. This is the e-brake right here. Has a little pin, and then has a little C-clip. It's not really a C-clip, but once you guys see it, you guys get the point. I always put it back in there so you don't lose it. The other side, they lost one of the C-clips, so they use a cotter pin, so I'll just have to use a cotter pin when I put a new one in. Right here. So, no big deal. At least they put something in there. This is the ABS. This is held by 10 mil. It's right there. You can use a wrench, or you could remove the brake line first, and then you can just shoot it with a deep socket. So it doesn't matter. We have to take off this cover first. This is the drum cover. So remove this first, and then once we take the axle out, we'll be able to know if the bearings are still good or not. Fingers crossed that the bearings are good, because I don't want to replace the bearings yet. This is the ABS sensor held by 10 mil. Remove that 10 mil and then just set this aside. I'm actually gonna clean this ABS sensor. It has a bit of dirt and just a lot of dirty stuff. Sometimes these sensors go bad, and you can see where it unplugs from the gray piece to the black piece. So if the sensor goes bad, you have to buy the new sensor right here. I'm not sure what the sensor runs, but if you guys know the price, let me know in the comment section. But that's just something to keep in for the future. I kind of wish this truck doesn't have ABS. Old school stuff is way better. I got the driver's side axle out. Came out pretty easy. So this is the outer seal. We're gonna replace that. It doesn't look like it's in bad shape, but it's only a $5 part, so go ahead and replace that while you're there. This rubber o-ring, there's a rubber o-ring right here, doesn't look too bad. We might reuse that. Here's the driver axle, and the bearing looks pretty good. I cleaned it up already. They are the notchy bearings, but you can see that it's gonna have some play. You guys see that? It's really hard to see on the video, but it does have like a 1/4 inch play, so I'm not sure if I want to risk it and run it. It's a little bit of play, but nothing too crazy. I mean, this is definitely, you definitely want to swap it out when it's this much though. So I think I might order the bearings, and I might get it swapped out actually. I have the passenger side removed, same concept. And this side here is bad as well. It has about a 1/4 inch play, just like the other one. You guys can hear that. So what the thing is that with the rear axle, you can't check your bearings with the tires on and with it bolted on. You have to take it out like this first, because this is held in place to the axle. So once you take it off, you can see if there's any movement. So I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna go buy some bearings in town and just get them swapped out, and we should be good. I went ahead and installed a new inner seal. So this is a seal from AutoZone, part number 1960. I like to also put a zip tie on the driver's side and then a zip tie on the driver's side axle, just so I don't get them mixed up between the driver and passenger. And then once I install them, I'll take them off. The differential and the axles are getting new bearings and getting welded by a buddy of mine right now. So while he's doing that, I'm just going and cleaning the diff housing. So I went ahead and cleaned all the gasket, the paper gasket already, and I believe this is the original one. It has never been taken apart ever since 2003, since the vehicle was made. But for this one, we will be using, instead of paper gasket, I'll be using the right stuff. This is a 90-minute gasket, like RTV. This is really good. And then also we have the carrier assembly out. Everything is kept in place. This is the driver's side, this is the passenger side. You don't ever want to mix these up, and also just keep the bolts in their same position. I went ahead and wiped them down, wiped the old grease up and stuff, but everything looks good. Truly sorry I didn't film any of the installation, guys. I got so busy, I was on a time frame. So I ended up basically getting myself a shop press. You guys watched my other video. I bought myself a shop press. I got me a free axle that I chopped in half, and I made my own bearing puller. So I basically did all that, and then I had someone else welded the diff for me, so the differential is welded right now. Got everything installed about 30 minutes ago. Just doing a quick test ride, filled up all my tire pressure to about 32 psi, 34 psi. Runs good. If you guys have never driven welded diff, you guys all know the deal. But if you guys know how it is, it's not so fun during the sharp turns and stuff. But yeah, it's doing really good. And we're gonna get ready to hit the trails tomorrow. At least I'm hitting the trails tomorrow. But I'm gonna do a quick more driving. I'm gonna do some more highway driving and just make sure everything's running good. And then I'm gonna go back and just double check all my nuts and bolts, just make sure they're all fully tightened. But this is it, guys. Tacoma fully has a welded differential running 430 gears, 33, 12.5, 15-inch mud tires, and new rear wheel bearings, new front end suspensions, all that stuff. You guys watch the videos, you guys know the deal. And let's take a look at our miles here. We're at 262,788 miles. Runs amazing, man. Super excited and super loving this truck, man.
brand new head rebuilt, and just been through a full overhaul. A few more things I want to do is I want to test it out on off-roading and see if it still rubs on the front, because I know on the front it rubs during hard impact. Right now it doesn't rub if you do like sharp turn or anything like that, but during hard impact, full flex and stuff like that, it might rub. So I want to see if there's any issues, and then we'll go from there. But this is gonna be pretty much it. I don't plan to spend any more money on it for right now. I'm gonna take a quick break, because I spent over at least $1,000 already, plus just getting this truck running the way I want it to right now. So we're gonna take a little quick break and just relax, maybe flip some cars and stuff like that, and go from there. So definitely look out for some new videos. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Check out the Instagram, NuttyNu_444. More behind the scenes content every day. Peace out. Much love.